Think about not being able to read road signs. Think about an elderly person who can't read their prescription bottles. Think about not being able to apply for a job. I'm Rob Morrow, and I'm here to tell you there is no single solution for the literacy problems facing our community, but there is hope. People coming together to help other people.
The Literacy Network of Greater Los Angeles is an organization that connects learners with literacy service providers throughout the greater metropolitan area. We have 250 providers in the network, and between them they serve 700,000 people a year.
For Gary Miller, when he was in school back in the 1950s, the only solution offered to him was simply to try harder.
They thought I was ignorant. And a lot of the times they passed me based on the fact that they felt that this person was so ignorant, there was no need to keep him held behind because it wouldn't do him any good. I have the simple little words that I do.
To this day, Gary still can't read, but for a few words at a time. Like so many others, Gary spent his life finding crutches, not solutions, getting by even at work by hiding his shame.
In fact, I really didn't even tell my wife that I couldn't read when we got married. I've never read a book in my whole life. Never read a book in my whole life.
Los Angeles has the highest rate of undereducated adults of any major metropolitan area in the United States. 53% of Los Angeles' working age population, or 3.8 million people, cannot read well enough to fill out a job application or read a bus schedule.
There are many faces of the literacy issue. It is not just reserved to people whose native language is a language other than English. Of those 3.8 million adults in Los Angeles County who have low literacy skills, 1.6 million of them speak English fluently.
I have always managed to rise above obstacles and succeed. I encountered my first grade obstacle in the 8th grade when diagnosed with dyslexia.
What you are hearing is a college entry essay, but it is not just any essay. For Ryan Johnson, it is a victory.
I've had problems since the 2nd grade. I just thought I was slower at learning how to read than other guys.
There is a huge disability issue. People with learning disabilities are twice as represented in the low literate population as they are in the general population.
His future could not look more bright. Dyslexia isn't standing in his way.
Few predicted I would succeed in school, but I did. Whatever expectations I have for myself, I will persevere. If I hadn't gotten diagnosed, I probably wouldn't gotten into 16 colleges already. So that's a big plus right there.
And research shows the single most important influence on the educational success of a child is the educational level of the mother. In 2001, 35% of the children born in Los Angeles had mothers without a high school education. Part of the solution is helping the whole family, and within the Literacy Network programs and community resources, there are places and people that understand.
Right now we have an enrollment of 100 kids, and most of them struggle to read, can't do homework assignments, don't understand a simple paragraph, so many times they're reading below grade level.
The main thing I want to be is an astronaut, so I can find those 5 planets.
Otis Glasgow now has the chance to shoot for the stars, but 2 years ago he was failing.
The type of person he was always bored with his work. He don't want to do his homework, he don't want to do the schoolwork.
When you start meeting the parents, you realize that it's almost like a catch-22 in a lot of these households. So you have parents who can't read, they can't help their children, so the children can't read. Okay, so what was your homework today?
Vocabulary skills packet.
I quit pushing literacy on a lot of my parents, so I do what I call a soft sell. I go get their hand and I bring them over to the table and I say, I want you to sit here with your child while they're being tutored. The parents gotta listen. The parents gotta follow what the kid is doing in the workbook, and by osmosis, they're taking something in too. And a lot of parents, as a result of that, will come back to me and say, okay, I wanna learn how to read now.
Otis and his mom are a good example of how an entire family can benefit from support found through the Literacy Network. And the secret to the success of what is happening throughout the family of the Literacy Network providers isn't just the results of a couple motivated educators.
The literacy volunteers have been a real boon to us at Belmont. Our school is one of the largest adult schools, and we enroll over 33,000 students per year. So we can absorb as many volunteers as LA can generate.
We recruit and train volunteers and then place them with organizations that provide literacy services directly to learners.
What I love about volunteering is that of all of the not-for-profit things that I've done and one can do, teaching people how to read and write in English is something that almost anyone with a college education can do. And unlike finding a cure for AIDS or cancer or Alzheimer's, or where all you can do really is give money to others who do the work, this is an area where you actually can do the work yourself.
It's often said that children are the future, but I say adults are the today, because their needs are in the today and in the now.
When I became a resident, like 2 years ago, I thought, well, maybe I could do something better out of my life.
If you bring customized training to people at the workplace and you relate it to the work that they're doing, the gains are much greater. And it also puts people on a path to lifelong learning, which hopefully will open the door to living wage work and help people move up the ladder.
Los Angeles Metropolitan Transit Authority is one company taking advantage of the Literacy at Work transitional training programs.
We had a huge problem at the MTA. We had 300 bus operator vacancies that we carried for quite a while and were unable to fill. Only 50% of the people we hired were making it through training.
So the planning went in to customize a pre-training course that included reading strategies, learning styles, in some cases language acquisition, and in partnership with the Literacy Network of Greater Los Angeles and Metro, each group has a role in ensuring that these people get from non-employment or low employment into high-paying, solid jobs with Metro.
Alfonso is a shining example of a success story.
They helped me and encouraged me. They tell you how to take tests, how to talk to the person, how to go to the interviews, and it helped me a lot. Good luck to all of you. God bless you. Thank you.
As you can imagine, finding resources and help can be very difficult for people who face literacy challenges. The Literacy Network compiles resources available in the community into a directory of which thousands are distributed at no cost to the teachers, counselors, probation officers, social workers, people who are in touch with the people who need help. The Literacy Network also offers a multilingual 24/7 referral hotline to connect learners with the services they need.
It may seem as though helping one person learn to read better is a small thing when there are so many, but think of the effect on that one person and that one person's children for generations to come. That's the future.